Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. Grubby and Ahmpy going up against, what I think that's Swedish for knight, not KnOfF or KnOfF, and Tyler. Tyler perhaps famous or infamous amongst the gaming community. I think I got to actually play with Tyler once or twice in League of Legends before I really knew who he was. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. Tyler and well, KnOfF or KnOfF Knight. Please let me know. It is. Yeah, no, this is the overlay. A 2v2 overlay looks different. It isn't quite nearly as high tech. Doesn't do everything. Well, yeah, doesn't do everything. I guess I could try and should that be one of my projects? Like read the APIs and the streaming file and then update the overlay. That would be pretty interesting. Unless I don't know, does pad want additional people touching his app? I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. Grubby was random, did get human, so Grubby going for Archmage opening, gonna train up some footmen. We can see a Keeper of the Grove coming across from the knight, his Night Elf partner. So it's going to be Keeper of the Grove, Archmage, going up against a Farseer and a Blade Master. So Farseer, Blade Master, perhaps going for mass headhunters. We can see the War Mill already being placed down here. And 2v2 matchups are interesting in that, well, armies generally grow faster, so teching early or expanding early could have, well, dangerous repercussions if you are not ready and your opponents just train up a lot of units to try and shut down your economy. I will say though, WarCraft 3 economy rating nearly not as prevalent as say StarCraft 2 economy rating or economy rating, as we're going straight after that those skeletal archers and then perhaps trying to clear up some of these early creep camps. Keeper of the Grove, well, gets an entangle on Tyler's peon. Tyler's peon quickly going to get taken out as the Archmage goes after this 4-2-2 creep camp. Water Elemental right here, a lot of damage already onto that militia, and it's going to move away, now starting to tank some damage on that Water Elemental here. Meanwhile, Farseer of Tyler summons the wolves a little bit late, so most professional players like to summon the wolves inside their own base and then start running out. It gives time for that mana on that Farseer to regenerate, because, well, and yeah, even though you eat into the timed life, that very first bit of pressure, you end up often resummoning your wolves before they're even ready. Is Tyler going to resummon the wolf? Yep, see, that's why you do it there. So Tyler, for all of you Warcraft 3 Farseer players, I don't know if you guys knew that particular tip, but that's the reason why that happens, as we're going to see, well, one Spirit Wolf getting taken out already, and now waiting for that cooldown timer in order to resummon up a pair of wolves again. There goes an entangle. Farseer taking a little bit of damage, but entangling heroes, not necessarily the best use of mana on a Keeper of the Grove. The entangles utility to stop a unit and keep it in its place, much more important than the amount of damage it does. And because of the shorter duration on a hero, you just can't get enough points of damage on it really in the early stages, especially if they're at near or full health. Archmage going to double back around here. KnOfF, well, it looks as though Grubby and KnOfF or Knight are going to be battling it up here. So the two more prevalent, more well-known Warcraft 3 players going at it. Meanwhile, Tyler and Ahmpy, yeah, fighting down across here. We are still sitting at tier 1. We are getting huntresses off of one ancient of war, and we are seeing Grubby operating with an Expo. Mass Headhunters perhaps going to try to deal with those Huntresses. Huntresses 16 to 18 damage. Arcane Tower, it's not hitting the right target, and now trying to go back and forth here. All right, a little bit of damage. We're looking at a little bit of poke damage with that glaive bounce here. Keeper of the Grove did get an entangle off on one of those Headhunters, so that, well, long term tries to remove one of those units from the fight. Meanwhile, the Huntress able to escape at 10 hit points. Beautifully done right there. And now we see a little bit of Shadow Meld. All right, the Keeper of the Grove trying to back his way into a corner. Going to find himself in a really, really tough spot. Keeper of the Grove falls at level 5. Archmage is sitting at level 2. And the Huntresses are falling as well. So Tyler and Knight are just diving into this spot, even though there are Militia, Footmen, and all of these other units here. Meanwhile, Knight's Blade Master sitting at level 2 here, trying to finish off some of these peasants. Tyler being forced to tap out first, backing away, and there it goes. All right, meanwhile, the Blade Master still has a Scroll of Town Portal. Did not sell that early one there, as the Huntress is able to, well, force a quick retreat there. Grubby holding on to that economic advantage. We are at Stronghold. We don't see a second hero as of yet. Nope, Shadow Hunter now going to be that second hero. Perhaps some healing salves and a clarity potion for that Blade Master, and we'll see if we go for Raiders or perhaps Shamans. Tyler going to be going for that Bestiary, as the Tauren Chieftain is going to be his second hero of choice as well. Frost Wolves getting cleaned up. Lightning Revenant gonna, well, getting in some purges onto that water elemental there, summoning up a new water elemental. This is always a dangerous spot to be in. Footmen do have Defend now, so they're able to reflect back some of the damage from that Burning Archer, but yeah, Burning Archer is dealing some serious piercing damage during the early stages of the game. Now, one thing to note, yeah, Grubby, I was going to say, Grubby needs an Arcane Vault. Look at all of those low hit point Footmen. They need to back up a little bit, just trying to find time and be effective. Now, is Grubby going to be able to carry his team? That is the question now, as well. Tyler and Knight looking to poke apart these Frost Wolves here. There is an Ice Troll Warlord in the back. Meanwhile, Amp is going after another Lightning Revenant creep camp. You're looking at the Huntresses would be prime targets. So Footmen with Defend, able to reflect back quite a bit as well. And the Lightning Revenant is going to go down. And Potion Invulnerability, Keeper of the Grove, going to get, needs to pick up that Invul Potion, and there you have it. But now he's backed himself into a little bit of a corner. Archmage needs to come across, perhaps try and resurrect or save his opponent, his partner just a little bit, as we're looking at, well, a quick reveal right there. There's an Entangle trying to slow down some of those units once more, as the Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 2. Archmage sitting at level 3, nearly level 4, as a Hex goes down onto a Rifleman here. More Water Elementals could be summoned. Footmen with Defend, able to reflect back a lot of that Headhunter damage, and now just going after the Treants instead, as we're looking at Huntress after Huntress is falling. All right. Scroll of Regeneration quickly used on the far side here. We're taking a look at a couple of low hit point grunts. The Night Elf Keeper of the Grove gets up to level 3 after that crazy fight. So level 3, going up against level 3, level 1, and a level 2, level 1. There's that Scroll of Regeneration here. Blood Mage out here on the battlefield. We are only at Tree of Life, not going for a second hero, just going for Mass Huntresses apparently. And what is going to go down next? All right, Infernal. So here on Phantom Grove, a lot of really difficult creep camps to try and clear, as we're going to see, I believe, an illusion mirror image spot that this Infernal creep camp is going to get cleaned up. All right, Footman trying to back away down to, well, 142 hit points after a Scroll of Healing, so it took quite a bit there. And now a Tome of Agility coupled with a Helm of Valor, strength and agility for that Blood Mage. Not necessarily the best item, well, really would be best on a Blade Master or Demon Hunter. All right, how is this going to unfold? Tier 2 obviously already done. We are going dual racks Rifleman. Grubby 63 over 86 supplied, now getting level 1 weapon upgrades. Archmage has been buying items. There's that Scroll of Regeneration again to try and heal up all of these low hit point Footmen and Riflemen. Meanwhile, his partner well, sitting at 38 over 50 supply. I would have expected more Huntresses out here with the team. Grubby is sitting at 63 over 86 supply. Perhaps he should have been given a little bit of gold to his partner in order for him to get closer to 50 supply before he finally broke upkeep. All right. Dual Ancients of War, only one Ancient of War really training at a time. Morning. Good morning, good morning. All right. Walking into an Orc base here. Tyler's base getting under the, well, under some direct fire. It looks like that Voodoo Lounge will get taken down quickly. And now here comes Tyler trying to save his base here. Tauren Totem, are we going to see some Spirit Walkers out here on the battlefield? Yes, they do make their way out. And now Grubby says, you know what? I'm going to build an Arcane Vault here just to, well, bring a little bit of those creature comforts from home. Ancient Protectors also getting added in. Footman with Defend, able to reflect back some damage. And what is going to go down here? Archmage, Blood Mage, ready to put in pressure or fend off this attack. Level 4, level 2, and a level 3 Keeper of the Grove. As we see triple Water Elementals by Grubby. All right, tower is also going to get constructed here, and it feels like Grubby is just content saying, you know what, unless you bring the fight to me, I'm not going to try and engage you. I'm perfectly fine with moving you guys on to only 2 mining bases by removing the Tyler's starting location. All right, Kotobi's making their way back out. Blood Mage looking to engage. There's a little bit of siphon mana, but not much to really write home about. Kotobi does get entangled, but gets or breaks free with the help of a purge. As Ancient Protector is now getting summoned up and starting to beat down on the barracks here. All right, what is going to go down next? Blood Mage could throw down a Flame Strike, perhaps cause a little bit of traffic, a little bit of a go, no-go situation. It either force your opponent to walk through or well, forcing them to back up, and there's that Flame Strike right there. They're taking all of that damage. Blood Mage sitting at level 2 still has plenty of mana as the Pit Lord quickly gets taken out, and no real survivability without a Death Knight and no healing from the Shadow Hunter. There goes another Flame Strike by Grubby's Blood Mage as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 2 as well. All right, so Tyler loses his level 2 Tauren Chieftain. Blade Master still running, or excuse me, Farseer still able to do his thing. Meanwhile, Blade Master trying to, well, just burst down some of these units with the help of a mirror image. Blood Mage, are we going to see yes, another Flame Strike there? That could have been friendly fire. As units look to back up again, Kotobi's also not dining on anything. That's incredibly important as the Shadow Hunter gets finished off. All right, bunch of Hunters lost. Tyler, 30 over 51 supply, trying to resurrect the Tauren Chieftain. Units trying to, well, regather themselves. Knight is getting Berserkers now, so has the Berserker upgrade already, and now bringing Demolishers to a battle to the south. All right, perhaps he's trying to make a play a little bit different. How is there 2 times, and how are they different? Right, I want to get rid of this time. I think I added this time. How do I get rid of that time? And why are they different? All right. Huntress is looking to engage here. Berserkers continue to poke off. There's some Chain Lightning bouncing around. There, well, Direwolf's able to, well, break down those Huntresses here. And, well, it looks like a fairly strong defense here to try and hold on to what remains of Tyler's base. This is a very well-fortified outpost here as the Kotobi's with Bloodlust. So Bloodlust coming in from Knight here, really perhaps catching Grubby and Ahmpy up off guard. Grubby forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal, and with this, Kotobi's able to back away down to 4 hit points. Doesn't really need to re-engage. A little bit of auto-focus tower. Grubby finding it, getting the kill there as the Demolishers and well, finishing off the rest of these Ancient Protectors here as well. So Tyler trying to rebuild what he has, sitting on 1,500 gold. Peasants now, well, trying to back up again here. Farseer going to finish off some of these peasants once more. Perhaps we're going to get another bestiary as well. There's that voodoo lounge, but it was really that bloodlust. A master shaman with bloodlust being able to break free from that containment and get back into the game. Perhaps we're going to see some spellbreakers joining on the fight. No spellbreakers. No cast. There's an arcane sanctum, so maybe we will start to see some spellbreakers. As this arcane vault is, well, still acting as an outpost. Blood Mage still trying to get to level 4. Archmage is sitting at level 5. And how is this game going to unfold next? Knight running on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Grubby also running on 2 bases, sitting at 62 over 86 supply, getting dual arcane sanctums. And, well, Bloodlust and Spellbreaker is important in order to counter that Bloodlust by bringing it back. Meanwhile, Blood Mage is out here going to be able to get in some strong flame strikes, finish off one of the 3 orc burrows here, as we see a quick departure by Grubby. And, well, did we see a healing wave? Yes, a healing wave as well. Blade Master does get to level 5. And that's looking really strong. Level 5 Blade Master with Medallion of Courage, Orb of Lightning. So good damage, good evasion as well. As we're looking at the Huntresses once more, diving into position here to try and shut down Tyler's mining. Tree Ants coming off of the wood line. And we also see Keeper of the Grove with Thorn's Aura. Low hit point Huntress able to back away. Tyler trying to repair these burrows. These burrows not going to stay up and operational forever, as we now see, well, trading of bases. Knight saying, you know what, if you're going to take away Tyler's base, I'm going to take away Grubby's Expo. So that's what exactly is happening. We see a Ice Troll Warlord here acting, well, I guess trying to protect this base a little bit as well. We are going to get some repairs here. Demolisher still taking some damage, and that Demolisher may actually fall at the hands of the Ice Troll Warlord, which would be absolutely hilarious, as the Ice Troll Warlord needs to find a way to, well, you need to find a way to protect yourself from the Ice Troll Warlord. All right, so this creep camp here doing decent damage across the board. Blade Master wants that Gloves of Haste, but really has no room for it. Perhaps going to give it to the Shadow Hunter. No, not going to even grab that there, as the mirror image is, well, going to get cleaned up. All right, so Gloves of Haste, not a preferable item apparently. Farseer of Tyler, is he going to pick it up? No. Why would... nope, he's going to go ahead and pick it up, pick up that useful item. And now, perhaps cause a little bit of separation. All right, Hex on to the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove going to back away. Invul Potion right there. Berserkers with Bloodlust going to try and finish off some of those Huntresses as well. Treants coming off the line here. More damage. Chain Lightning bouncing around by Tyler. Tyler nearly getting up to level 5. There's level 5. And now, well, the Demolishers still causing a little bit of splash damage in the back. There's a Flame Strike across the center line here. And the Demolishers, are they going to get some kills? Yes, they are. So Demolishers doing quite a bit of damage and getting in some of those well, important last hit kills here, as we see a Flame Strike now go down onto Knight's Berserkers. Berserkers are frenzied, so they are attacking well, with decent speed, and now still trying to push across through. Are we going to see a Tauren Chieftain anywhere? That is the question. Archmage of Grubby forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal, got purged and would have gotten taken out, as we see a departing Flame Strike and cause a little bit of damage. Farseer, Shadow Hunter, Blade Master going to perhaps go after a relatively difficult creep camp. You can see that those burning arrows, how much damage they do, even against a Blade Master who has evasion and decent armor. Shadow Hunter gets up to level 5. Perhaps we're going to be looking at level 3 Healing Wave. Shadow Hunter picks up an Invul Potion. No Mana Potion, anything of that sort. The Expo is still up and operational. Tyler's base is still operational, seen at 30 over 31 supply, as the units now retreat back. We are getting up another Arcane Vault here. Grubby staying at Tier 2, and we're looking at the Night Elf now finally going into Tier 3.
Players' forces are under attack.
Druids of the Claw are now being added, as the main bases only have 2 minutes of mining left. We still have this base to try and establish, and then then is have to go after these front-facing bases, which is a little bit of a more dangerous proposition since you are expanding towards your opponent.
A player's forces are under attack.
Chimeras? I don't see any. All right. Grubby taking out another creep camp here. Blood Mage now at level 5. So dual level 5 heroes for Grubby's Archmage and Blood Mage. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 5. Ready to move on out. Archmage is level 2 Brilliant Aura, as indicated there. And now we're getting ready for that fight here. Quick and Tangled Flame Strike gonna go down. A little bit of separation. One of Tyler's Raiders gonna get finished off here. There's a deny on a Huntress. And, just opening things up. This side is now completely open, so many of those peasants could get taken down. The Demolisher is going to take quite a bit of damage. Needs to back away, and does back away just in time. Again, as we're now looking to put pressure onto the Night Elf base. Leading opponents from... okay. Flame Strike going down here. Demolisher down to 30 hit points. One more shot would finish it off, and it does get taken out. So Water Elemental getting the job done, destroying the Demolisher, and thereby protecting all of the buildings here on the red team. Now, we can see that there was an expansion attempt by Night Elf. The Night Elf is not going to be able to hold on to it easily unless he tries to do a bit of an exchange here. Meanwhile, the main gold mine only has 3 minutes of mining left here for Tyler, and gold mines are now starting to fall for everyone else. Remaining gold mines have fallen, so we are now operating on one base to one base, as I wouldn't even count this as a fully operational base since there's only one peasant on that gold mine. Keeper of the Grove able to keep things in check here, trying to finish off some of these orc burrows, perhaps finish off some of these peasants as well. Keeper of the Grove getting close to level 6, 1 or 2 more shots, maybe even taking down the orc burrows and all of the peons inside could perhaps do it. Meanwhile, Tyler is trying to make a run here. There's a quick Hex onto Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon having a very bad day, gets purged out of Hex, only to still fall and do their death cry. All right, going after more still. Keeper of the Grove looking to finish down a couple more peasants. I think that's going to be enough for another 100 experience or so. Not enough to really get to level 6 and Tranquility.
A player's forces are under attack.
Back across here, Blade Master, Bloodlusted Taurens by the Orc player. So Pulverize, Bloodlusted Pulverize could be a very big deal, as that Pulverize and that normal damage from the Tauren, normal AoE damage onto those Spellbreakers would add up tremendously. Meanwhile, there goes a Healing Ward as, Spirit Walker quickly gets taken down, I believe, by a caster there. Priests are now getting taken out as well. Healing Ward, Witch Doctors, Master Witch Doctors by the Green Orc, something that I know Grubby absolutely loves. As you can also tell, I believe he used Control Magic to go ahead and steal that there. Also some Stasis Traps to cause a little bit of separation again. All right, there's a Stasis Trap as well. Are we going to turn around and fight in this position? That is the question. It could get Control Magic. Nope. There is that Stasis Trap, stunning down the units again, causing a little bit more separation once more. 23.5 minutes into this game, still no clear victor. Archmage of Grubby does have, I believe, has Mass Teleport. Yep, there's that Mass Teleport. Level 6 on that Archmage now, as Berserkers are getting picked off quickly. Blood Mage sitting at level 5. Level 3 Flame Strike could cause some serious problems. Blade Master using an Invul Potion, going to try and finish off some more units. And what is going to go down here? There goes a Healing Ward. That's going to be some good regeneration for that Tauren and all the other high hit point units, as the Blade Master now going after the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove turning back around, perhaps going to try to finish off some of these Blade Masters. Rifleman also getting healed back up again. So the Keeper of the Grove staying at level 6 and still able to keep units alive, and now gets a nice Tranquility involved here, as the Druid of the Claw able to regenerate hit points still. low hit point Torin down to 3 hit points, ends up surviving and is able to regroup with his friends. Expansion off to the north. No tiny great hall there. Pit Lord quickly resurrected, only to get taken down again. Not what was expected, as Grubby is also expanded here to the far 8 o'clock side of the map. Both sides getting ready to fight here. There's a flame strike. A couple of peasants gonna get lost. Well, nope, only one peasant lost there. It looks like the Teal Orcs expansion about to fall, and that could potentially, well, be the beginning of the end once the economy fully is in favor of Grubby and the red team here, which I'm saying it already is. All you need is that final nail in the coffin to close out this game. Huntress is going to clean up Tyler's base here. This gold mine about to get taken down. There's another flame strike once more. There's more purging. As that Keeper of the Groves, Tranquility, should be on a very, very quick cooldown and be able to be used pretty regularly. All right, are we going to see another Tranquility perhaps come across the Keeper of the Grove? Perhaps trying to keep all of these units alive here. There's that Tranquility again. Phoenix is out here on the battlefield. So this is interesting. This is the actual, one of the few times you actually might see a Phoenix having positive regeneration, as that Phoenix now gonna, well, turn back into an egg here momentarily. All right, 200 hit point egg, gonna rehatch, take to the skies. Grubby's Water Elemental gonna get poked down a little bit. There goes a quick Peasant. Blood Mage relatively low on mana, gonna siphon mana away from that Shadow Hunter, just trying to remove it from enemy heroes so that they don't have it to use, as Water Elementals and Phoenixes could be brought over to try and take down those Tauren. Remember, Tauren do have heavy armor. They take bonus damage from magic, as we're gonna see a Water Elemental turn into a little puddle right there. Phoenix may be able to get off that kill there. No, does not get it. There's a stasis trap catching a Water Elemental. Berserker trying to hide off on the side. And we're still looking at this expansion here at the center 12 o'clock position, still somehow holding on. Flame Strike. Tauren walking through that Blade Master. And, well, there's some big damage trying to finish off some of those units. There's a quick Hex. Archmage able to get the Scroll of Town Portal in time, and will be able to survive. A little bit of separation, though. That's going to see here. Keeper of the Grove could have a very bad day, and it is going to have a very bad day here. Blade Master trying to go after it. There's a couple of surrounds. Blade Master trying to get in some quick swipes. Is the Blade Master going to perhaps get a purge? Yes, does get a purge onto that Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, Tyler's Wolf doing the dance thing in front, as the Keeper of the Grove perhaps going to drive by a Scroll of Town Portal and be able to teleport out. Not taking out that Arcane Vault, absolutely huge, as the Keeper of the Grove able to teleport back home to safety.
Town is under siege.
Demolishers on the move again. Grubby's 2 base economy versus, well, only 3 minutes of mining left by night here. Could be the difference. 71 supply. Yes, Arya.
Forces are under attack.
Keeper of the Grove making its way off to the north now. Haven't been able to sleep well, so now I'm tired again. Coffee. All right, Purge onto the Phoenix. And right there goes an Entangle onto the Blade Master. Blade Master, yeah, mirror image easily breaks free from that. Oh, Tranquility, but then quickly canceled. Not quite sure what that was about, but that may have just been a premature Tranquility. Didn't need it. Units were not really suffering any damage. And now we're going to see Tier 3 35 over 50 supply. Gold perhaps being given from Grubby, as Grubby is nearly maxed out on low upkeep supply. There's a stasis trap across all of those Night Elf units. Spellbreakers obviously immune. Archmage on the move here. And now just simply needing to move forward and find a way to have a strong engagement where Orc is not able to do its thing. 2 minutes of mining left. Down here, still plenty of mining off to the north. As we still see a little bit of creep camps available on the map, but I don't believe any of the red team's heroes can actually gain any more experience. Yeah, no additional experience. Blade Master, Bladestorm trying to dive in here. How much damage can he really do? Hex onto the Blood Mage. Blood Mage ends up falling. Level 6 now on the Shadow Hunter. Archmage being forced to retreat. And now, Shadow Militia were all called over here. They could end up getting taken down. That was a big, big loss. Blood Mage falls at level 6. And with the fall of a level 6, what is the Shadow Hunter going to do here? Does the Shadow Hunter actually have... does he actually have Big Bad Voodoo? That would be a big question there, as the Archmage is still okay for now. All right. Torrents trying to come across. Torrents do have Bloodlust. There's going to be that pulverized damage. You saw that giant burst of damage on that Spellbreaker earlier, as the Farseer now continuing to put in pressure. Blade Master going up against the Phoenix. Phoenix is dealing quite a bit of damage. Invulnerable. No, there. That's a quick mirror image there, fighting its way through. Priestess of the Moon trying to shadow meld right amongst that fight there, but I believe pulverized damage could still actually affect it. There's level 2 on the Priestess of the Moon. Shadow Hunter falls at level 6 again, and level 6 as the Farseer now trying to fight its way back. There's that Tranquility. Blade Master is going to get that Priestess of the Moon. Blade Master trying to finish off the Priestess of the Moon, unable to do so. That Tranquility coupled with the Thorns aura, perhaps reflecting back just enough damage to keep that Priestess of the Moon alive. All right, so a lot of action in the early portion of the game, a little bit of a lull towards the end, but a great conclusion in this battle here. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below. Here are your final scores. No surprise, Grubby taking the lead there, carrying and doing most of the work. It seemed like he was just pretty much everywhere on the map. Did lose his lose that Blood Mage though, which gave a little bit of extra life for the Orc team, but in the end, still not enough. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.